Hello. Welcome to Diversus channel. In this video, we prepared the bitter theory of 2023, how these 10 countries will be destroyed in the future. I hope you like this video. 1. A country that is destroyed by invasion or annexation. 2 countries that disappear by merging with another country. 3 countries that will be physically destroyed due to climate change, and 4 countries that will be destroyed by splitting into 2 or more countries. I want to warn that this is a scenario and not certain. We will see the future just like a fortune teller. We can predict the future just by looking at the maps. Please stay with us until the end of the video. To get other undiscovered secrets, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like the video and share it with your friends. Thank you. Maldives. The Maldives is a small island country in the Indian Ocean. It is currently composed of 1,192 coral islands, but it is facing the consequences of global warming. The combination of rising sea levels and increasingly frequent and intense cyclones is leading to the inundation of many of the nation's islands. The average elevation of the islands is only 1.5 meters above sea level, so they are particularly vulnerable to rising waters. The government has already moved some of its population to higher lying areas and is creating plans to build more resilient infrastructure in the hopes of saving their country. Unfortunately, it is expected that in the near future, the Maldives will no longer exist as a physical entity due to the devastating effects of climate change. Tuvalu. Tuvalu is a small island nation located in the South Pacific Ocean. It is one of the world's smallest countries, consisting of 9 atolls and 3 reefs. The main island of Tuvalu is Funafuti, which is located in the northernmost area of the country. With an area of only 26 square kilometers, Tuvalu is one of the most vulnerable countries to climate change. The rising sea levels are one of the biggest threats to Tuvalu's existence. According to reports, this could lead to flooding and storm surges, leading to the complete submergence of the island in the future. In fact, a recent study revealed that at least 80% of Tuvalu's landmass could be submerged by 2100 if the current rate of global warming continues. The threat of sea level rise is exacerbated by Tuvalu's low-lying terrain. The highest point on any of the islands is only 4.5 meters above sea level, meaning it would take very little for the island to be completely inundated by water. As such, Tuvalu is considered one of the most likely countries to not exist in the future due to climate change. Kiribati. Kiribati is a small nation located in the Central Pacific Ocean. It consists of 33 atolls and reef islands and 1 raised coral island, Grenada. The country's estimated population is 110,000. The country is threatened by rising sea levels due to climate change. Kiribati's highest point is only 3 meters above sea level, making it highly vulnerable to the effects of global warming and ocean acidification. In recent years, some of the island's smaller outlying islands have already been lost to the sea, forcing their inhabitants to evacuate to the main islands. Kiribati has been pursuing a number of strategies to reduce its vulnerability to sea level rise, including coastal defenses and implementing sustainable development plans. The country is also looking into the possibility of buying land in other countries in order to relocate its population if necessary. It remains to be seen whether Kiribati will be able to protect itself from the effects of climate change or whether it will eventually become the first nation to be completely submerged by the rising seas. Marshall Islands. The Marshall Islands is an island nation located in the Pacific Ocean between Hawaii and the Philippines. With a population of over 54,000 people, the Marshall Islands are facing an existential crisis due to the effects of climate change. Rising sea levels have already caused displacement and destruction of property on some islands. The government has warned that the islands could become uninhabitable within the next 30 years if global warming continues at its current pace. In response, the Marshall Islands is looking to other nations for help in protecting its inhabitants from this looming threat. In 2020, the nation became the first to sign an agreement with New Zealand to provide its citizens with a safe haven if their homeland becomes uninhabitable. While this may offer a reprieve for some, it does not solve the underlying problem. Unless global emissions are reduced, the Marshall Islands will be one of the many countries that will not exist in the future. St. Lucia. St. Lucia is an island nation in the Caribbean that is vulnerable to sea level rise and other impacts of climate change. As temperatures continue to rise and the sea level continues to rise, much of the country will be submerged beneath the ocean within the next few decades. This could lead to significant economic losses and even displacement of people as the nation slowly disappears from the map. Already, St. Lucia is seeing significant damage from coastal erosion, stronger storms, and increased flooding due to rising sea levels. In addition, coral reefs are being destroyed by warming waters, leading to a decrease in marine life. These effects of climate change will only worsen in the future, making it unlikely that St. Lucia will remain a physical nation much longer. Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua and Barbuda is a small island country located in the Caribbean Sea. The two islands of Antigua and Barbuda are part of the Lesser Antilles, and are renowned for their stunning beaches and year-round sunshine. Unfortunately, due to its low-lying position, Antigua and Barbuda is one of the countries that could be impacted most severely by rising sea levels. Due to its low-lying position, the islands are at risk from coastal flooding caused by extreme weather events, as well as from long-term sea level rise. Climate change is already having an impact on the region, with coral bleaching, extreme storms, and increased intensity of hurricanes all occurring more frequently. The increased intensity of storms has caused a rise in storm surges, with both Antigua and Barbuda seeing serious flooding and damages due to storm surge flooding in recent years. The country is also facing the potential impacts of ocean acidification. This occurs when carbon dioxide is absorbed into the oceans, resulting in lower pH levels and making it harder for coral reefs and other marine life to survive. As a result, Antigua and Barbuda's coral reefs are becoming increasingly fragile, leading to further environmental damage. Given the effects of climate change on Antigua and Barbuda, it is likely that the islands will not exist in their current form in the future. The country will need to find ways to mitigate against climate change, such as investing in renewable energy sources, reducing emissions, and investing in adaptation strategies. Otherwise, it is possible that the country may cease to exist physically as sea levels continue to rise. Bahamas. The Bahamas are located in the Caribbean, making them particularly vulnerable to rising sea levels caused by climate change. The country is already experiencing higher than normal tides, which can damage property and infrastructure. If sea levels continue to rise, the entire nation could be submerged in the future. In addition, increased storm intensity could lead to more frequent and damaging floods. To combat this, the Bahamian government has implemented various strategies, such as building sea walls and raising houses on stilts to help protect against flooding. There is also an effort to educate locals about the effects of climate change and provide them with the skills needed to adapt and survive in a changing environment. While these measures may help in the short term, it is unclear if they will be enough to save the Bahamas from the potential dangers of climate change in the long term. St. Kitts and Nevis. Located in the Caribbean, St. Kitts and Nevis are two small island nations that may not exist physically in the future. Both of these islands are particularly vulnerable to sea level rise due to their low-lying coastlines and are likely to be submerged as the sea levels rise. In addition, the effects of climate change have already been seen on the islands, such as extreme weather events, changes in temperature and rainfall patterns, coral bleaching, and an increase in the intensity and frequency of tropical storms. With the combination of extreme weather and sea level rise, it is very possible that St. Kitts and Nevis could no longer exist as a country in the future. Already, parts of the coastline have been lost due to erosion and flooding. As sea levels continue to rise, more of the landmass will become submerged, causing displacement for many people who live there. This will cause a major disruption to the island's economy, infrastructure, and culture. The islands could possibly become uninhabitable and become lost in the future due to climate change. Dominica. Dominica is a Caribbean island country located between the Caribbean Sea and the North Atlantic Ocean. It has a population of around 72,000 people and is known for its tropical rainforests and lush landscapes. The country is home to many species of animals, plants, and birds, making it a popular destination for ecotourism. Unfortunately, Dominica is also one of the countries that will not exist in the future due to its position in the Caribbean Sea. Rising sea levels due to global warming will eventually submerge the island. In addition, hurricanes are becoming more frequent in this region and may further contribute to the disappearance of Dominica. While Dominica's government is taking steps to mitigate the effects of climate change, it is unlikely that the country will be able to stave off the effects of global warming. Dominica's low-lying geography, coupled with its dependence on tourism, makes it particularly vulnerable to the effects of rising sea levels and increasing intensity of storms. If you're looking to visit Dominica before it disappears, consider visiting soon. Not only will you get a glimpse at a beautiful Caribbean paradise, but you'll also have the opportunity to experience a unique culture and environment that will soon be lost forever. Grenada. Grenada is a small Caribbean island nation located north of Trinidad and Tobago. It is one of the smallest independent nations in the world. As a result, it is highly vulnerable to climate change and rising sea levels, making it one of the countries that will not exist physically in the future. The entire country is only 133 square miles in size, so even a small rise in sea level could have drastic consequences for Grenada. In addition, many of Grenada's coastal areas are already suffering from erosion due to the combination of tropical storms and rising ocean levels. This has caused land loss along the coast, forcing people to relocate inland. In 2017, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change reported that Grenada is one of several island nations facing a risk of complete submergence due to rising seas, with estimates that sea levels could rise by as much as 1 meter by 2100. Unfortunately, because of its size, Grenada lacks the resources necessary to protect itself from the effects of climate change and rising sea levels. Many of its citizens have already had to relocate further inland, leaving their homes and livelihoods behind. Despite its limited resources, Grenada has taken steps to mitigate the effects of climate change, such as creating a national adaptation plan and promoting renewable energy sources. However, these efforts may not be enough to save the country in the long run. Unless drastic action is taken soon, Grenada may cease to exist in the future.